Well, hey there, friends. I'm late to the party, I know. I've been quite busy RL and I didn't get around to uploading anything, and even during the live stream reveal, I was a few hours late, so I viewed it late. But hey, let's just jump right into the juice and analyze the live stream of Aion 2. Here's the summary of my analysis as I've already worked on it ever since I've not been, creating content. Let's start with the release of Aion 2. It looks more and more like Aion 2 will release during the Aion 1's anniversary day or week this November 2025. The global release is planned for summer 2026, and there's yet not much information about who is going to be the global publisher for Aion 2, but at least for Aion 2 in Korea and Taiwan, it's supposedly NCSoft themselves. The main platform for Aion 2 will be PC. There is no auto combat, and they aren't planning on bringing it to the game. Initially, Aion 2 was announced first as a mobile game about 7 years ago, and this was a surprise and obviously also a wish of the community, since the majority disliked the fact that Aion 2 was going to be a mobile title for years. They, however, also confirmed to release an Aion 2 mobile client later on, for easy access to certain content. We have no definitive confirmation as to how much access it will have, but they aim to mirror the PC client as much as they can. The PC client or the content will not suffer from this addition. They are porting the game to mobile and not from mobile to PC. The game will feature some mini games, which might be one of the focused content features they want to provide for people who wish to play on the go and progress their character. And speaking about progression, Aion 2 will have a horizontal progression system. That's a W, right? That's a big win. We haven't had any modern game releasing horizontal content or progression systems for a while. But they haven't given us anything except that they talked about dynamic dungeons and open world events. So we will see how else you can progress, horizontally. There's not going to be a pay to win system to earn special skills, so no gacha basically, and the skills you use in game are either automatically earned or you purchase or earn them through in game mechanics. They also mentioned that they will not feature any predatory pay to win, but they didn't go into the detail what pay to win they would add. So perhaps there's going to be some sort of pay for convenience, and I wonder how much pay to win that is going to be, because NCSoft hasn't touched upon it at all. So maybe they're cooking something nice, or maybe not. We don't know yet. The timeline of Aion 2, by the way, is quite confusing. NC has confirmed that the game is a sequel, not a prequel, as previously announced in the first reveal of Aion 2 when it was supposed to become a mobile title. It is set to take place 200 years after the original Aion. But what does that mean? They said that Aion 2 would feature the classic maps that were released in the OG Aion, so 1.0. A lot of the maps that existed in Aion 1 were at some point either flooded or nuked outright from existence. So bringing the OG maps back begs the question whether it is a sequel for a different timeline, or whether they will retcon a lot of the story and craft a new one with more depth and mysteries. Given the fact that Aion 1's lore started to become weak and nonsensical at a certain point past version 4.5, it is likely that they will retcon a lot of the lore from a certain point of the game. I mean, that's at least my speculation. And speaking of OG zones, they said that the world will feature the OG regions of Aion 1 in a remastered and reimagined way with new extra zones. The OG maps are Sanctum, Poeta, Verteron, Eltnan, Hyron, Theobomus, Pandemonium, Ishalgan, Altgard, Morheim, Beluslan, and Bristonian. And that the whole world seems to be 36 times the size of the maps put together in Aion 1. That's massive. We are talking massive landscapes that feature a lot of secrets and mysteries, as they had emphasized that the game will reward you for exploration. Sounds amazing, right? Probably one way to progress horizontally in the game as well. And I'm gonna be honest, Exploration is extra fun since the game will allow you to fly in every single zone. They didn't mention if the flight time is limited or not, however, so I personally hope it is limited because I don't want to feel like a god from level 10 or 1 or whenever you unlock flying. Speaking of OG content, Aion 2 confirmed to be releasing with the OG 8 subclasses to Warrior, Priest, Scout, and Mage, which are Templar, Gladiator, Cleric, Chanter, Assassin, Ranger, Sorcerer, and Spirit Master. They have been remastered with new mechanics while staying true to their core identity of Aion 1. There is no gender lock for any class as well, so that's a W. Thank you. So, just a short breakdown for the classes. The Gladiator is going to be wielding a great sword and is focusing on off-tanking and AoE damage, while the Templar is the main tank with a sword and shield. The Assassins will have a stealth-based tactical gameplay. Rangers will have long-range attacks with high damage output. Spirit Masters are adjusted to be the best solo fighters with summoned spirits. Sorcerer is a high-burst damage caster. The Cleric is a primary healer, however with enhanced damage abilities compared to the old Aion. So it's going to be a bit more fun to play the Cleric probably in the low level areas, because in endgame Clerics were still quite powerful in my opinion in PvE, or even in PvP when it came to damage. And the Chanter is a hybrid supporting class. The livestream didn't showcase a certain weapon type, and that was the polearm, aka Spare. Perhaps it isn't coming, or it could become an exclusive extendable type next to the extendable great swords, or perhaps they have plans to add a new class in the future which could wield the Spare. They have also mentioned extendable ranged weapons. Whether they meant physical range weapons or magical weapons is yet unknown, but honestly, it's kind of odd to add a ranged extendable weapon. But yeah, who knows, maybe it's a good idea. I have no idea how it would be executed. Another curious thing was that the Templar in the trailer and gameplay videos was always wielding a sword and shield. It could potentially mean that classes will no longer have multiple weapon types, so there is less maintenance when it's about getting gear and preparing for endgame PvP or PvE. And the Gladiator was the class that was wielding the greatsword in the gameplay footage. Speaking of classes, the combat is going to be action combat but hybrid, so you can tap target however the game's mechanic will be of an action combat game. There's no handholding when it comes to distance checks as well. The content will be designed around the engine's capabilities, so expect a lot of mechanics in PvE which will require a lot of reactions. According to them, with their new netcode and the support of Unreal Engine 5, they seemingly have achieved a new reactive and more advanced MMORPG engine than any other game in the market. They said that you can actually dodge attacks much more efficiently, and damage or hitting a target isn't pre-calculated but rather calculated on impact. I guess whoever has better latency wins. We'll see, I guess. As for underwater, you can now swim, and there's also underwater combat. I wonder how that will play out and how that is balanced given the fact that you will have different types of movements and maybe restrictions to it. I don't know. So, faction versus faction. PvP seems to be existing and a core mechanic in the game. Hell yeah. They talked about the OG faction versus faction and how it will be retained and brought into Aion 2. When they talked about the factions, they had mentioned that each faction will be physically on a different server. That means PvP will be cross-server. Will they have 24/7 open world PvP maps? Will certain regions go into conflict mode at certain hours, where then you can travel with dimensional rifts from one map to the other and fight the enemy faction? Or will they provide special cross-server regions with special rewards opening during certain hours? Honestly, I would prefer being able to travel to the other faction's servers through rifts that open at a certain hour, and once that time is over, it should kill the Kisk, which acts like a respawner for a set time after the rift closes. Perhaps Kisks will not even be a thing in Aion 2. I'm just guessing at this point. And I hope you get some information regarding that soon, because it's exciting to know how much freedom you can have when you go to the enemy faction's world. So about PvE, Aion 2 will feature over 200 dungeons upon release with various difficulty levels, and also an easy mode for beginners, including guides and quests to help with the progression and the mechanics. This seems like a really huge number, right? I wonder if they just exaggerated the numbers and if it's just a different version of the same dungeon. They mentioned dynamic dungeons as well. Perhaps there are many iterations of each dungeon, perhaps there's a difficulty level, and they were maybe calculated towards to the total number of dungeons. Maybe they will pull a Diablo 4, who knows. We will have to wait and see until November, I guess. The group sizes for Aion 2 have also been modified, by the way, to either 4 members or 8 members. And I guess anything beyond 8 members counts as an alliance or raid group. This seems quite similar to the light and full party system of Final Fantasy XIV, which is critically acclaimed and successful as an MMORPG. It's not bad to take inspiration from other games, honestly. I wonder what else Aion 2 has taken inspiration from, by the way. We'll have to see that too. They mentioned dynamic open world events as well. There seems to be a lot to unpack once the game releases. The dungeon they have teased was the iconic Fire Temple, with a new version of Crowmead with amazing visuals and a cinematic opener to her fight. Character customization in Aion 2 will be very enhanced and apparently even better than the already very well done Aion 1 customization. The new customization comes with over 200 adjustable features, including the body types from the original Aion and more. So you remember those really tiny, childlike, chibi-like looking characters and grotesque figures that you have seen in Aion 1? They will return in Aion 2 apparently, with no limits. During the reveal livestream, they have showcased a very pretty looking female character. You can see it right now on the screen. And I honestly was very impressed with the visuals, and I think we will all sink at least an hour or two into it whenever we have the time to create our main characters. And lastly, yes, mounts will exist in the game too. However, with a twist. And if you guys kind of remember the Aion Vision trailer that we had back then many years ago that was forgotten by at the end by NCSoft, crazy times. It seems you can now, or at least in Aion 2, I mean, tame your mounts. So there are at the start monsters. I'm not sure if open world monsters or if you can also tame some in dungeons. And then there's a mechanic to it. They haven't touched upon it too much, but you can basically tame either any monster or a certain set of monsters in the open world and or in dungeons and turn them into your mounts. But yeah, there was no info dropped on as to how this works, and if this is the only way to acquire mounts. And looking at the nature of NC, I do believe that NC will have some permanent mounts on their item shop, and I personally do not mind, as long as the mounts do not come with an enhanced speed or buffs compared to the in-game mounts. So yeah, I guess that was it from me as of for now. I mean, it wasn't that much. It is still enough, I guess. A lot of information to digest. And if you have made it up to this minute, I appreciate you guys a lot for having watched the video. And I do hope that you leave a like and also subscribe to the channel. And I will try to create much more hype videos, and maybe in the future also with some webcam in it. I'm kind of shy doing some recordings right now. I'm not very experienced in recording myself and also being on the screen when I record a video that is somewhat scripted. And but if you ever want to tune in to my live content on Twitch, feel free to do so. I do stream with a webcam and I hang out and we talk about many games. I play on purpose sometimes really bad games or hard games to have fun in. And yeah, I will be playing mainly Aion 2 once it comes out in November this year. And I've been known for my Aion content, but in the past about Aion 1 in this case, not really for the latest iterations of Classic. Not a big fan of it. NCSoft has ruined Aion in my opinion, Aion 1, and Maybe it is ruining TNL as well right now. I don't know. But anyway, if you liked the video, please leave a like and subscribe. And I will see you on my Twitch channel. Please leave a follow there as well. I will be putting it on the screen right now. Have a good one and see you next time.